How do you know if she's the one to marry? It's one of life's biggest decisions that you can make, and it carries so much weight behind it, from financial to time commitment to one of the biggest choices, because you can only choose one to marry. I had a friend give me one of the best answers I've ever heard. So in this video, we are going to go over 4 signs that she actually is the one to marry. So I was in Vietnam and I was dating this really cute girl who, she was really wholesome. She cooked for me. She was just a great person overall. I knew that if I decide to marry this person, it's a lifelong decision. House you can just sell, probably gain more money. A job, you can just change your career. You're not tied down to it. So knowing just the gravity of that, I was like, I need to ask for advice from the smartest person I know. So the dude I called up, he's one of the smartest people I know when it comes to just understanding someone's tone, understanding if they really mean something, and understanding why they say things. So he would like dissect the words I used and be like, hey, it seems like you're insecure about this from the things you say. And it just blew my mind. So he's like a wizard at that. I called him. This girl seems really cool, a really decent girl. I don't know if she's the one to marry. He said, I already know the answer. I was like, how do you know the answer when I don't even know the answer? To this day, I really appreciate his response to me. He did tell me the answer, and it ties into the very first sign. And that sign is the biggest sign. If you have this one sign, then you already know. And you know the answer. If you can just really listen to this one piece of advice, you don't even need the other 3 signs. And it's all about your intuition, because your intuition is what guides you. You can call it the spirit in you, you can call it God, you can call it faith, you can call it intuition and your true self, like what you desire inside. That's what intuition is, and it never leads you astray. So he was saying, hey, she's not right for you. Because if she was, your intuition would lead you towards marrying her. Most men, they don't feel that gut feeling, which means that it's not a fit. And because I get it, you're like, she is a good girl, this and that. You have all these rationale, you have a great time with her, except something inside isn't telling you this is the girl. And most men that I found who have really successful marriages that are absolutely on fire, you may not even have met a dude like this, who's married to an on-fire relationship. They have followed their intuition, and they knew that it was the right person for them. And I'm sure you've seen dudes who, like, they're dating a ton, and they're dating tons of beautiful women, and then all of a sudden they choose one girl, and you ask them, they're going to be like, it felt right. I just knew. So I get it. Most people are going to choose to not listen to waiting for that intuition. They might be like, what does intuition sound like? What is it going to feel like? When you know, you know. And that's the beauty of it. You will know because your intuition will give you all sorts of indicators, and you'll just know that this is the right girl. There is a difference of the feelings and all of that stuff that you have to be wary of. That is not intuition. Your feelings is not the same as your intuition, your gut instinct. If you truly want what's best for you, the best answer you can have for yourself is trust your intuition and don't settle for anything less. It is really hard, I get it, when you're in a relationship and you're like, I don't feel that intuition, I don't feel that instinct. Listen to it. If you want what's best for your life in the long run, this being the biggest decision you can make in your life, you've got to trust that gut and you've got to listen to it. There are 3 other signs that are more subtle. They're not stereotypical advice. Do you get along with her mother? Oh, time flies when I'm with her. All these things are nonsense. They're the physical layer of love, which is the whole feelings, the sexualized part of it. And I have a really great video on this, of the 3 levels of love, from physical, emotional, and spiritual. But that's just a physical thing, and that's not something that you can rely on. So the second sign is, can you fully be yourself around her? And it's important for you to not hide, to be open and honest with her and just fully be you. And she can fully be herself. It's a more subtle sign. It's not always a requirement, but it's a sign that the relationship is headed in the right way. And the third sign is, do you share the same values as this person? If you're sharing the same values and you guys really care about growth, or you care about variety, or you care about certain things specific to your values, and you share them, In the long run, these values don't change. If you're someone who needs certainty in your life, if you're someone who needs variety in your life, and this person also really values that, these qualities don't change. It adds this cohesive layer to you being able to stay together. And then finally, it's, do you talk about the future together? Do you talk about having kids with each other? Do you talk about what it would look like to grow old together? These types of talks go beyond the physical layer, and they're a lot more powerful when it comes to bonding and being like, I can see myself for the rest of my life, because that's what marriage is. Marriage is something that is long-term. And so if you're having those long-term talks with her, it goes a little bit beyond the whole physical and temporary feeling type of thing, and just knowing what life will look like in the long run. So these are 4 signs. I would always go with your instinct. That is the number one indicator that if you just go by that alone, you'll actually have the answer to, is she the one?